Good morning, RD family. I am what they say suited up, but I'm mic'd up because I am super excited to be on the other side of the table being interviewed by a upcoming graphic designer. And after seeing his work, I feel like he already has the status, but we got to have paper to kind of prove it in this industry. But anyways, I'm going to allow him to ask all the questions he wants to ask, and I hope I have an answer for at least 98% of them. All right, y'all. It's your girl Rachel Design. We're ready.
Right. Thank you very much for meeting with me.
No problem.
So we'll start out with the first question, which is what is your position?
For me, I am a principal graphic designer at my own graphic design business called Rachel Designs, located in Katy, Texas. So it's an online based business for now until I decide I want to transition to a facility. But I am the principal, the CEO, and the founder
Okay,
of Rachel Designs.
perfect. The next question, what is your day-to-day routine?
My day to day routine, I'll say 85% of the time is getting up at 6 o'clock, try to drink some good tea to get the body started before I cook a nice breakfast. I am definitely a morning person. So I like to at least get up before 7 or 8, depending on if I don't have a rough schedule that night of doing projects or editing. And after that, I like to prep if I didn't prep that night to get some social media pieces ready to be scheduled out for the day so I don't have to worry about posting as I go. Sometimes days are like that, but on a good day, that's usually how my morning goes. From 6 to 7, I'm prepping and editing some sound bites or marketing material to talk about what I'm doing that day or what's going on later on in the week. And once that wrapped up, I open up Rachel Design, be accessible from 9 a.m. to about 1 o'clock. And I may not be that particular graphic designer that may tell somebody that they take naps, but that is scheduled into my schedule.
Okay, I like that.
I do take naps. I think it's a great, healthy way for me to reset and get a fresh start. Like I said, I am a morning person and I don't drink coffee, so I have a high energy. And once that battery is dead and drained, I don't have nothing else to give. So I do incorporate a nap in my schedule. Then I'm back up and running from like 2 to 5 p.m. Then from there, hopefully I don't have a last minute meeting or things like that. I'm off to whatever else that I have planned outside of work.
What are the skills you need? Technical skills, design skills, management skills in your
In my position, everything and above that you just listed is needed, especially when you are a one man's team. I had the luxury to have hired a personal assistant. So, especially early on when I started out, she was a great help to where I can delegate some of the workload, such as like scheduling or doing inventory, calling vendors, booking appointments, and actually working on my agenda. So she wasn't necessarily a graphic designer, but she was well capable of being a assistant who know how to manage the workload for me and schedule things out accordingly. But when she's not there, I still need to wear all of the caps in order to be able to execute, whether it was a project, make a call, be able to read a calendar, know how to prioritize things. So having all those skills is a plus, especially if you are planning to be your own boss or have your own company. If you plan on just always being in the shadow rather than the forefront, I don't feel like all the necessary skills need to be learned at one time, but I'm more of a driven type of person outside of graphic design. So I'm grateful that way before I got into the industry that I learned a lot of hands-on skills on how to run a business, how to be an assistant, how to create an agenda, create a schedule. So honestly, it just depends on what path you take in.
Yeah.
But if that path presents itself, YouTube is your best friend and start learning those skills. But I'm just grateful that I have many skills and that all has played a part in me running my business for the last 6 years. And I'm obviously still learning.
Yes.
Yeah.
How did you get into this type of design work, and what do you enjoy most about it?
How I got into the design work is being so curious. And you know how they say curiosity killed the cat? I definitely killed it in the most unique way. After my mom put me on punishment, and back in the day, really wasn't that many devices out. Okay, there was PlayStations and Game Boys. And so I remember prior to the punishment, I had received a sketchbook, and being that I had to sit with myself, I pulled it out to pass time. And upon me using cartoon images as a reference to sketch, I noticed that I had a gift like my mom and big sister. I was more so a busybody. So to be able to sit with myself for a couple hours due to the fact that I was being bad, I learned that, okay, even though I'm curious, at that time I did not know that visual communication was even a thing, but I knew sketching was something that was heavy in our family. So later entering into the program, incorporating a God-given gift with something visual later combine the two perfectly. So what I mostly enjoy about this industry or my line of work is that I get to turn people's vision to reality. I get to make people happy. And it's such a fulfillment when you can listen to someone's vision and turn it into reality on a computer. Like, I think that's so powerful to see. So it's a fulfilling industry for me to be able to connect with people and also be a part of their journey, special events, their big day, weddings, and things like that. So to be like, oh, I played a big part in someone's vision. So that is the fulfillment. So that brings so much joy to me.
That's really good to hear.
Thank
I
you.
definitely agree with that. In your position, do they find time for the creative process, such as brainstorming, working on concept design with others, etc.?
Yes. So I don't have another designer, so most time the way I have my system set up is usually 9 out of 10 I have a Zoom meeting with the client. So after they fill out the form to give me an idea of what they're needing, they give me time to make notes, do a mood board, and write out some ideas before we meet. And then I do like a presentation and also get their feedback on what they are trying to say in the email. So once that process is executed, I normally give them homework, meaning that, okay, I don't want to guess everything. I want you to feel like you're a part of the process. Unless they give me total control, then thank God I can have at it.
The rare
But
occasion.
yes, so there is time for it because I kind of incorporate the exercise that Cher taught us. There are times I noticed that I had to like add a couple more phases because everybody is not the same on how their creative process is, or they may be busy. So it all depends on who it is because every client is different. But having that phase skill under my belt has allowed me to have time to incorporate the creative process, meeting back up with them midpoint to where I have the reassurance that I'm on the right page after the creative process has taken place. Especially, I love how a lot of the clients have responded to me when I release like a link for them to look at their own fonts because they have an idea. They may have the answer on the tip of their tongue, but having the resources to give to them in the blockage that I have given the both of us to go do our homework, it gives them time to like filter through so many ideas. Yes, it's definitely time for it.
And you like incorporate it into your contracts, basically.
Absolutely. I do tell them that there are 4 phases. And like I said, sometimes it's more than 4 phases. And this phase may incorporate the deposit along with me consulting with you. This one here talks about the mood board and all the different typography we may use and talk about the colors. And then the third phase is more like a review. Did I execute so far what this is? We also talk about the rough comps for you to look over, get a second opinion, and the fourth, of course, get the full payment and deliverables are sent to your email. So all of that is definitely specified in each contract for each client to where they understand my process. I feel like once you're totally upfront with how everything goes, and I love how the way Cher introduced that to us because it's so important nowadays because the industry can be shisty or people are not responding. And I know if I'm on the receiving end, like I don't want to feel like I'm bothering them, but like I haven't heard anything from them. Did they ghost me? You know, this is how my mind works. So I love how she introduced that to me because I have experienced clients where they feel like because of your personality, I'm gonna go on and give you X amount of money, but I'm hoping you don't do X, Y, and Z. So being able to say, hey, in 2 weeks, let's meet up, or hey, let me send you reminders. So being able to be in communication along the way, it helped ease them out to where we can have total control of the project. So yes, totally.
Okay. Next question. Do you have a style of design that you prefer?
Yes, a style design I prefer would be illustration. Illustration is more fun than dealing with like imagery, only because I feel like my weakness is the lightning and shadow.
Yeah.
So because of those weakness, illustration would be good because all of it is just shape combined and into the two. And of course, being that I have the ability to sketch out things, if I sketch it with my hand, obviously we know how to scan it and put it in illustration and then use Pathfinder to be able to build those same shapes. So that would be my style design for sure.
That's interesting you say that because I would say I'm the opposite. I love like heavy imagery and
Yeah.
a lot of Photoshop kind of stuff.
Yeah. And it was fun because I was just looking at a project yesterday because I'm going through my archives since I have some downtime. And when we took digital image one and two, we did a lot of heavy imagery and combining in the layers and using all of the cool techniques to like hide a image. So I love that. Obviously, because it helps out for my personal projects that I want to work on. But when I'm dealing with a client, it's almost like scary because I'm like, did I combine the image right? Can they tell that I use this brick, but this brick is over here? So because of those skeptical thoughts I have, I don't prefer it.
So you lean more into vector.
Vector, yes. So to answer your question, vector style art is my favorite way of designing.
Do you have a specific software that you prefer when given the choice?
Yes, it would definitely be Illustrator.
Of course. So you still subscribe to Adobe Creative Cloud or
Because
just
I don't
Illustrator?
use all of the softwares like we were in college, I basically have a subscription for illustration and Photoshop.
Okay.
Mhm.
Do you feel stifled or challenged creatively in your job?
Yes, every project. I feel that way because most of the time I am getting projects that we didn't like execute in college. Let's use one example. During graduation season, I am tend to like create sashes for the graduation gown. So the very first one was like, oh my God, why did I say yes? I always said yes to projects because I feel like, okay, once I look up on YouTube or apply what was taught in school, I know I can execute it. And I execute it every time. So I'm challenged basically every project if it's not logo, but then I don't even want to say I'm not challenged with a logo because every client's desire is different. I mean, there was like maybe 5% of the times that I wasn't challenged with because I'm like, oh, that's an easy peasy logo that I have to do. But anything so deep and so like details, like, okay, would this look like what they want on the computer? Like, you can easily sketch something all day. And I'm like, oh, you're on the right track. But execute it to where it's going to be living on everything. It's like, okay, yeah,
Challenge.
yes, yes.
Do you freelance when the opportunity arises or time permits?
every single time. Yes. And freelance is so much fun because it allows me to pause from the more of the corporate or the small business side of things because sometimes that can get a little bit repetitive. But when you can do some freelance stuff, for example, like doing birthday t-shirts, banners for a graduation, things like that is always like, okay, I love this because I feel like I'm heading to the party. You know what I'm saying? And rather than using a guide for the branding guidelines, when you following those, you know, you strictly in the box. But freelance, like, oh, I don't have nobody over my head, even though necessarily they're not. It's just like having that brand guide in the back of your mind that's almost like somebody's hovering over you in a way because you cannot go outside their color palette and the fun. So yes, every chance I get, if it's something I can do, I'm saying yes to it.
Allows you a lot more creativity.
Yes, allows my brain to go outside the box and like dive in something that I thought I would never do.
Okay. Do you work while you're at home?
Yes, I have been working from home for the last 6 years.
What is the atmosphere like in your workplace? And have you experienced a company with a contrasting atmosphere?
So yes, my atmosphere at home is very business casual. It's very energized. We love playing upbeat music. My energy is transferable. So when my personal assistant does come over, she doesn't feel like she's in a dark space. We're able to vibe. And, you know, it's all about just getting the work done at the end of the day. I'm not too strict about it, but at the same time, everybody who collab with me knows that my work shows that I am still about my business. So, yes. And to answer your last question, I have had the experience working at a local print shop. So that print shop vibe was more laid back. Everybody was pretty much to themselves and working their own individual projects until we had like a walk in. And if that walk in needed everybody's attention, we may come together and collab on it. But that one was way laid back, and most time the music was too slow that makes me want to go to sleep. So it was so cool to have my own headphones where my playlist is like we jamming on a Friday night. So yeah, I have experienced both.
What do you edit on? I know you could like try and stabilize the video if anything.
But I use InShot if I'm editing for my phone, and on my computer I still use iMovie. I didn't take those classes that require me to do the video editing. Of course, once I'm able to have some downtime, I do want to get into Premiere. I haven't had the time to, and then you in college, you don't have time to pick up extra one because of all those projects. And then when I got out of college, I thought I would have time to like piggyback off what I did learn to teach myself for 2 years. But the way my path went about is like I'm just now having the time to go back and revisit a lot of projects, which I'm so glad because I'm now feeling like, okay, I'm gonna finally be at the point where everything is so organized. Like everything is organized for me. Like I know where everything is, but once I build a team and have other people, working with me, I don't like for them to feel like they gotta hunt for stuff because I hate hunting for stuff under somebody else's files and things like that. So I always kept that system for as organized as how Anthony and Sherry taught us. So I still have that, but when I have gotten busy, it may be over there, but I know where it is. So yeah.
That's cool that you're still using that system.
Hmm.
I'm trying to incorporate that as well.
Yes, it get hard sometimes, but at least you know the foundation. The foundation will always reel you back in, and that foundation will allow you to, keep that at the forefront. That you don't want to be messy when you got to deliver to your client.
Do they interact directly with clients, or is there a person above them who hands them work?
So yes, being that I am the principal graphic designer, I am hands-on with every client that comes to Rate to Design.
What is your educational background? Degrees, training certificates, or other experience?
So I am honored to say that I have a certificate and associate degree in applied science for visual communication.
And degrees, certificates, and students.
I don't have a degree when it come down to editing. I feel like that was something that I always done way before I knew about softwares. That was just back in the day. So I'm skilled in editing, being a host as a podcaster or have my own show. So I feel like I'm skilled there. I'm good in typing. I am skilled in motivational speaking. So at least for my industry and what I incorporate in my business, I'm grateful that I may not have the degree, but I'm also able to execute it. I also have the skills to be a bookkeeper. I am my own bookkeeper.
Yeah.
So that would be something, especially if you can afford a bookkeeper. Being that you have those skills is definitely important to where you keep your expenses and your income. So, yeah.
This one ties in. You mentioned ChatGPT and AI. Have you found that AI has affected your workflow or your career in general?
No, not me personally. I do use it as a tool if I needed to. Like, for example, I don't feel like I am a right off the bat great writer or how to explain everything that I'm trying to convey. But once I get my thoughts out using my own words, I can place it into Chat GPT and allow it to correct it in the right punctuations and things in that nature. So totally not against it. I just know that I'm not a total fan of allowing Chat GPT to take away my creativity and like execute these projects when I went to school and I ain't gonna say blood, sweat, and tears, but sweat and less sleep to earn these skills, and practice these skills. So I don't lean towards Chat GPT or AI to design what I love. I'm still old school on that. But heavily what I use in my business is the chat part because like I said,
Yeah.
I'm more like an editor. If you give me your paper, I'm gonna, yeah, let's change that. But obviously that I'm the writer, everything in that nature. Once I get my thought across and then tell them what I'm feeling, they normally summarize it in a way to where no kid have wrote my paper or my description for a project. So yeah, I'm not fond of the AI designs. That's
No.
just not me. Yeah.
That is something Schmidt started bringing up in our program, how it can affect us, but how it will never replace us to a
Yes.
degree.
Yes. I noticed that AI has a hard time understanding humans in depth. Like I said, I wanted you to have a real life experience talking in front of a graphic designer who's already in the industry
Yes.
because it's so unfortunate that a lot of people will prefer to be on the computer or let AI do all the work for them and not use their brains. I want to use my brain. I want to talk to people. I want to be like, I gave him that opportunity. You know what I'm saying? And the pandemic stole that opportunity from us. And, if I can be that person to give you that real life experience, that's what I wanted to do. So it will never replace my smile behind a computer at all.
Yes.
Keep that in mind. I don't care what industry tell you that. Yeah.
I very much appreciate you meeting in person.
Yeah.
We have, what advice do you have for me about my portfolio?
Okay, I would say first, understand what type of graphic designer you want to be. For example, if you want to be a brand designer, be sure that your portfolio speaks brand design. And of course, I would say definitely show a little bit projects that let them know that you're versatile and not just somebody that who can do a logo because when you work in the industry, sometimes it's just 4 to 2 designers or you and that owner. And if they are feeling like, oh, he's just more so of a brand designer. We need somebody who can do a 360. So I wouldn't say be so heavily on whatever path you decide. Incorporate something in there to show that little diversity to where they know that you're capable of doing a little bit more. Obviously, if you're more into playfulness, make sure that's at the forefront. So it's all about knowing what you want to do, what type of graphic designer you want to be. And once you do that, you can build your portfolio from there. Visuals are very appealing and that the print is not all sloppy. And make sure that your work go before you.
What are a few things you wish you knew before deciding on this career
I wish I knew comfortably how to price out projects. I wish I knew how to market myself effectively and how to bid on projects, because some of these platforms you have to bid on a project, and I'm not saying that you have to, but if you want a good project, sometime if your business is slow, there are some platforms that you can use or sign up for to bid on that project. So being able to find clients more effectively would have been great. I did have the luxury to be able to design a lot for a lot of my friends and family immediately after college. So, during the pandemic, there was a lot of birthday parties at home and people needed t-shirts for announcements and stuff. So I had the upper hand on dealing with clients right away from my circle of friends. But obviously, when they don't need anything, you still need clients coming from all over if you want to survive and stay afloat. So I wish I just knew how to do that effectively and things like that. Still working on how to be effectively in that area, but those will be the top three: pricing, marketing, and know how to network to get my own clients. Yes, yes. I have the skills of my own, but of course, there is just a right way and a effective way. I wouldn't say it's a wrong way on what I did, but there's always an effective way to do things. So,
Very useful
yeah.
tips.
Thank you.
Ask one last question, if you don't mind. Just
Okay.
what advice would you give me being interviewed for a position in this job?
I would definitely say show up to the interview at least 10 to 15 minutes early just to scout out the area. I would definitely say do your homework for sure. Always have some good, valuable questions ready for them, not scrambling. Be so prepared that it was like, how did you know that we was established 20 years ago in Hawaii, but we moved over here? Like, be so equipped on what they all about to where they were like, you know what, they are very passionate about our brand, our values. They know our mission without us, telling them, hey, have you heard about this? You kind of control the conversation in a way. Coming and knowing that you got the job. And of course, yes, of course, come looking decent and ready for the occasion, because you will think people will know this stuff, but they don't. A lot of people have shown up to interviews looking like they're going to play at the park or stuff like that. So, know their vibe. It let them know that you have done your homework. So, homework would be your best friend. Having the confidence in what you're trying to sell them. Sell yourself.
Early, do your homework, prepare
Mm-hmm.
questions, be equipped,
Mm-hmm.
know the brand and values,
Exactly.
confidence, attire, and selling yourself.
Exactly. But those are the main things. And be friendly and like show that you don't mind taking on criticism and good feedback. And sometimes you gotta have some real life feedback in order to get better as a designer. Don't be so sensitive about it. Of course, go home and cry if you need to, but sometimes it be like that. You want to show them that you can take on a project without them hovering over you. Like you could take on the leadership and be able to carry on their project without them being necessary, on you all the time. So just be 2 steps ahead of them, 2 steps ahead of them. And I feel like you'll definitely be on the right track on being able to take on any position that you want to. So your work is definitely good from what I saw last year. So
Thank you.
it's just finding out what that industry want that type of design, and not saying you got to get rid of it, but at the corporate office you may have to put that in your back pocket for it. So
I'm luckily I'm gaining a little bit more diversity, especially working through Lone Star and following their branding
yes,
guidelines.
now one thing about Lone Star, they have gave me the most diverse portfolio I ever seen, because obviously they gave you homework to how to do billboards, books, logos, flyers, trifold. It's very diverse. So keep that at the forefront, because now you don't have to go redo some projects or some campaigns, because we already done some major projects to fulfill those spots in the portfolio. So yeah, it's just all about being diverse, even if you don't show that, at least know that you have that in your back pocket that can be pulled out at any moment. 'Cause you never know what is required of you.
Yeah.
This industry is forever so flexible, so you got to be flexible too, and always show them that be organized and knowing that obviously you know how we was juggling with so many projects. We better have that deadline in our head because you're going to screw yourself over if you don't have some kind of tablet or system on your phone and your calendar to know that, oh, this is coming up, this is coming up. So I love that they gave us that many projects. It definitely helped out in the long run that, okay, if I had 3 clients who actually paying me, I had the confidence to know that, oh yeah, I'm gonna take Colt, I'm gonna take Jerry and them because I'm gonna space them out of quality because I'm getting this coin and I'm gonna be organized. They don't need to know that I'm working with 40 clients. I just better have yours on the deck. You know what I mean? So yeah, yeah.
That is the last question. So thank you very much. This has been very insightful. And I appreciate you taking the time to come meet with me and interview in person and everything.
The pleasure was all mine, Cole. Thank you so much for allowing me to come into your space and sit here attentively and give you the best answers that I can give you from my perspective. No answer is permanent. I like to always say, what is meant for you, eat that meat. The bones ain't for you. So, always just take everybody answer into perspective and pick out what works for Colt, not for me. We're 2 different people. We may have the same rules and regulations, but pick out what's best for you to execute it. So it's an honor to be able to be in this position to offer some advice or some insights and resources and things like that. It fulfills me as well as I am helping you fulfill your project. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping that, this assignment was very helpful for you and you can take what I have given you with a grain of salt, respectfully. Like I said, what I say here doesn't necessarily have to be permanent. Like I said, we're forever changing, we're forever evolving. So long as you stay open to those principles, you're going to be head on even more because you already head on. Like I said, I saw your work last year. So to have a full circle moment with you was because I didn't see no image. So it's like, I don't know who I'm, going to be looking for on campus. But when I saw your face, it's like, oh, I remember you. And that's a good thing to also like remember your clients and have some type of personal relationship with them in a way where they know that you have not forgotten about them. Check on them every now and then. So if they prefer you to, just every now and then, wish them a nice holiday. I wanted to show you, keep something cute, to stay organized and grab the business cards. Now, these are all the people I ran to within the last 6 years. And hey, in the interview says there's like a business card I can have or something like that to stay in touch. That would be a great tool to keep in mind when you're talking with people or if you run into someone at a grocery store. Hey, I can't talk right now. You got a business card on you? You know what I'm saying? And I know a lot of time people don't have business cards then because this is 2026, but old marketing will always be in style. It will always be around. So
And by any chance, do you have a business card on you that I could keep so we could stay in touch?
absolutely. I'm glad that you asked because I came prepared. Here you go. This is my own unique card.
Thank you so much.
And I also brought you this. And I'm Brandon, by the way. So this is Rachel Design. This is my logo. So I also would like to give you this trifold.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And these. Some nice fresh peppermints that has my logo on there. Wait, I'm not sure. We're Brandon over here, right?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Of course. And then just to show you how branded I am, I have my own logo. Yes. And of course, this is my own notes if I needed to take. But just keep that in mind. Always, you as a graphic designer have something that represent you. So obviously, if any one of us, maybe you not in a rush, but they are in a rush, have something that you can have so they can remember you. And obviously they teach you to stand out because this industry is forever competitive. So You want to make sure you stand out, have the best outstanding card, because people throw marketing material away all the time. But there's something about that design that, like, I knew it was like vibrant colors, and obviously I chose yellow, orange, and pink because of my vibrant personality. So I wanted to stand out. And obviously, the trifold is white, but my colors are bold to still represent my color palette. But it's just always good to, you know, ask. Of course, she probably didn't ask you, but that gave me an opportunity to have a teachable moment. Yeah.
I'll tell her you outdid her.
Yeah. Well, see, hey, that's always a good thing that, you know, a prior student can still have what was taught in their school era to the next generation.
Yes.
So I'm glad
I
that I am
appreciate
speaking their lingo,
yes.
you know. So hopefully I get a good report, but a good report is always a good report.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I do not have my business card quite yet. I have designed it, but I have to do some
Oh,
critique.
pause it. That's a good teachable moment.
Okay.
Never sell yourself short. Don't give me a backstory or anybody on the backstory. You give them what they have, and in your mind, you know they got to do for the next thing. Never talk negative or give them.
Bad about that.
Yes, but when you're trying to sell yourself to get the job, give them what you have, sell it like it's a business card. And when you get home, you know you got to do better. That's why we're forever learning, we're forever evolving in this industry. So sell what you have, and I'm going to be grateful.
Rather than bringing you a business card, I brought you my promotional item, which features my resume, some spreads of my portfolio work, as well as my contact information. So I
Wow.
hope you enjoy that.
Absolutely. Now, this is a promo that stood out than any promo I have received.
Thank
So
you.
that is definitely something that you want to keep in mind, that be original and stand out each time that you're trying to present yourself as a graphic designer. Be that outstanding graphic designer, because I may forget a business card, but having a promo item like this looked like a CD cover.
Yes.
Like I never had a promo that gives me the resume, give me the contact all in one package. Now this is totally outstanding. I love how you done outdid yourself today, Colt. I am not going to forget you as a student and someone that has given me the opportunity once again to be a teacher in this industry. I never envisioned myself to be a teacher. Obviously, I'm still a student in this industry. To be able to pause that student hat and become as a teacher, that's my desire, and that is to always be so open to the next generation, because there were generations before me that took out the time with me. Because at one point, I thought I would never make it in this industry because I'm such an on hand type of person. And like I said, I grew up sketching, so visual communication was a challenge for me. And then a little bit before I transferred here, I had a Dell computer. And y'all know we got taught on Apple computers. So to be able to literally convert my files in a way to where when I got home, it still opens up on a Dell computer was a nightmare in front of me for a whole semester. So being able to transfer here and for Cher and Professor Anthony and them to take out the time with me and have one-on-one conversation. Like, you got the skills, you got what it takes, you just got to spend more time. So I'm so glad that I stuck it out, because visual communication was something so hard for me, because I kept looking around the room like, oh my god, these kids are way smarter with me. But I'm like, I didn't have the opportunity like others. But that is okay when you don't have the upper hand on some skills. Just know and observe in the most humbling way and go home and execute, because there's no excuse in this industry. There's no excuse in this industry. Like, you know what? I can do what Colt do. It may not be the same deliverable, but I can do a cover. I can do that. So always look at a designer that's way skilled than you as a inspiration, not as a competition, or in a way that, like, you know, I don't like this person, so I'm not going to learn from them. Like, I look at them like I'm inspired. You know what I mean? Come from that perspective, I feel like you're going to be really good at being the most humble and graphic designer in the industry. Like, it's competitive, but we don't have to be envious the next person in their dream. But you got to be able to keep that under control. Keep that under control. So I'm so grateful that we had some teachable moments. And I don't know if they always say there's going to be a time that you have an aha moment. Look for some aha moments like, aha, I remember Cher told me that. Aha, I remember Rachel Design told me that. Look for those and keep a journal of that too. Professor Anthony has written a book as of last year, and I was able to be featured in there and call it the awesome folder. So something I told him as a student later became a feature in the book because I was like, okay, should we go on book tour now? Okay, I ain't have enough spotlight for that, but it's just like a full circle moment. Look for some good full circle moments. I live for full circle moments, and like I said, when you build a relationship with someone, keep that at the forefront because you're going to have a full circle relationship with these individuals. And I have a full circle moment with Lone Star right now. I have been the brand ambassador for Lone Star, and instructors are not going to forget about you, like whether you bad or good. You know what I'm saying? I'm so grateful that they didn't forget about. I wasn't bad, but I was the entertainer at the school. So to be able to still see Cher, Miss Cormier, and Miss Wells then for the last 3 years of me graduating of the 6 years was like I never would have thought I'd see these instructors again. You know what I mean? But being that I have became the brand ambassador for this campus, and I'm not for sure if you know, but I am the model that's on that facility out there. Every day you walk in there and I'm in this white suit.
I don't think I've noticed, but that's amazing.
Yes, when you walk, okay,
Yes.
do your homework and
I'm
reach out to
sorry.
me.
Yes.
No, no, another way for me to tell
Wait,
at
are
the
you
campus at
at Westside
Westway.
Park? Oh, I thought
Yes.
you meant
No,
this
no,
one.
no, no, no.
Yes, I have seen you. You're on the door, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes. So it's interesting that sometimes you don't sell yourself up front, but when we unlayer ourselves in communication, it's like you don't never know who you're talking to.
Yeah.
You never know what kind of connection is. So it's not like, oh, let me go ahead and tell him X, Y, and Z. But over time, you have the opportunity to unlayer yourself and tell people what you're capable of doing. Like just being here as a transfer student, I did not see these dreams. So being able to be a part of the I Belong campaign, dream come true for us being on a window clean. But like I said, I am a model, but being that I'm in this industry, I thought I'll never really have the opportunity right away because I was just so busy. But because of my presence on social media and my personality open up doors. So that's why I say sometimes you may have the credentials, but your skills and your personality gonna get you farther into the industry than most people. Because I only have a certificate and associate degree. I like to keep saying that, but here I am, been interviewed 19 times in publications and featured in magazines. I'm featured, like I said, in the window clean and interviews. So you just never know. Don't shortchange yourself. Don't short yourself because you don't know what opportunity is going to be presented to you. I've been shouted on radio broadcasts and things in that nature. So, like I said, it's just has been a fulfilling industry to be able to, you know, teach others and give them the hope that they're looking for because if God can do it for me with my certificate and associate degree, I don't feel like I got to go get my bachelor degree to get some of these opportunities when I know who I am as a graphic designer, who I am as a person, as a speaker, a motivated speaker. Like I have all those skills, but I don't have a degree for them. So don't shortchange yourself. I don't know what you want to be in life, but I say that to all say this that sometimes a degree ain't gonna get you where God can get you. I'm a faith-based type of graphic designer, so that has taken me farther than my degree. I feel like so. Yeah.
You're
Mhm.
very good at motivational speaking. You're right. I'm
I
very
love that.
motivated.
Thank you for the feedback. So I look forward to hearing from you via email. Hopefully
Yes.
that I can, you know, give you some pointers months or years from now. I may not have all the answers. Hopefully I do.
You're a very good connection to have. I'm glad we met and had this interview. Got our full circle moment.
Yes, yes. And build your community. Your community is going to be the backbone to your clientele, your opportunities, because sometimes we don't have like a lot of clientele or may not have time to execute a project, but they say, hey, I know Rachel.
Mhm.
She can do this project, or I may know Cole. You just never know. So being friendly or wherever job that you go to, try to have a connection with somebody. I'm not saying every job you have, you got to learn and be friendly with everybody. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to, I'm a friendly person. So I'm not saying I have everybody contact from there, but yes, I do. And I luckily liked everybody that I work with. So they're still in my phone. So that's also a good thing to have. I'm so grateful that the people I have graduated with still come out to support me. I had a rope cutting, been there to see students that I went to school with come support me when they know that I have an event, because like I said, I'm in brand ambassador, so they'll come out and bring their kids or their family. So it just feels so good to have that connection. Every era of your life you want to be able to celebrate with the people that came up with you. I'm not saying it's detrimental, but it feels good to be like, dang, I moved here in 2017. Here it is, 2026. These are the friends that I grew up with or earned my degree with, and they now see me for every moment in my life. And they all follow me on social media to see, like, girl, I remember when you was doing X, Y, and Z. Now you're doing this. You in magazines now. You're been featured on radio broadcasts. You're been invited to events. So it's just like it's so interesting and so powerful at the same time, and so crazy that I have ran into Sherry or rare occasion. Like I just thought as a student, you never see your instructors again. So when you're in this industry, or for Lone Star, for example, I can't speak for every campus, but Lone Star itself, these instructors will reach out to you. Just make sure who you want to have your contact knows that, oh, I changed my email or my phone, because they always have opportunities. And I'm so grateful when I can stop my busy schedule to be able to lend a hand or come up there, help them execute what they're trying to show you all. So I'm so grateful to be in that position. So I'm hoping that you can also incorporate that too. Don't forget about giving back when you make it. Giving back is one of the most fulfillment, because that's your legacy. That's your legacy.
In a few years, I'll be on the other side, and
Some
maybe I'll be
yes, yes, that's gonna be so great, and you're gonna really feel what I feel. Hopefully, you feel it now, but you're not gonna really feel it all until you're in the seat. So I now know how the people that I interview feel like, oh, you mean to tell I'm interested enough for a student to want to come interview me? So this is my second time being interviewed in person. Like I said, a lot of times dealing with interviewers, they normally send stuff to you and you send it back to them. But anytime I can get out the house and come sit at a table and feel like I'm a graphic designer and got my bag, it's a good feeling. So yeah, I can't wait to see you in the industry. I'm hoping that this interview enlightens you as well, and those who watch it later on in life, that some of the, I like to call it the RD gems. I hope that enough RD gems that I've dropped here in this interview help you along in your career or whenever you get started in the industry. So if you have any questions and comments, please leave them below, and hopefully I have a good answer for you. And whatever message that is in that answer, don't forget to eat the meat and leave the bones, okay? So I'm eager to hear your feedback. In the meantime, remember, your smile is your logo, your personality is your business card, and the way you make others feel is your trademark. We'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.